women's 115-pound division. In that division, the top three prospects inside the UFC, in my opinion, Tatiana Padilla-Suarez, 4-0, very good wrestling base, and was impressive on The Ultimate Fighter. Can her striking game evolve to be as dominant as her ground game? It's certainly a big question, but I think she's going to be a top 5 contender in the future. Number 2, Justine Kish, 6-0 in MMA, 18-2 in kickboxing. Kish is more than just a striker, with 2 wins via submission. Kish could become a top contender in the next few years, but I would like to see her progress inside the UFC quite slowly. So, they should give her matchups that suit her and not try to push her too fast. And the last one, rounding out the top 3, Poliana Botelho, 5-1. She's won every fight via TKO and only lost by decision. She's yet to make her UFC debut, and it will be interesting to see how her opponents try to handle her power and see if they can push her into deep waters. Honorable mentions to Team Alpha Males Cynthia Cavallo. Also, I would have probably put Alexa Grasso right at the top of this list, actually, but she just co-main event an event. Okay, that's the top 3 in the 115-pound women's division. So, moving outside the top 3, the UFC, in the women's 115-pound division, we have some of the best fighters in the world. I think the top few, I'd say, in this list is maybe more talented than any of the other lists. Number 1 on the list, without hesitation, in my opinion, is Mackenzie Dern. If you don't know who this woman is, in only her second MMA fight, she scored one of the most amazing submissions, if not the most amazing submission in the history of MMA. Like, there was a lot of transitions there, a lot of things she went for and then transitioned to something else. I'm not going to run through all that. You should watch the video. If you've watched the video, go back and watch it again. It only gets more impressive. The big question for her is how she evolves the stand-up game. In terms of BJJ, she may be the best female competitor from BJJ ever to move across to MMA. This young lady is incredibly talented. Can her striking game match that? Only the time will tell. Number 2, Angela Lee. Very, very well known to MMA fans. She's an absolute huge star. Currently fighting over in one championship. She was the youngest ever world champion, let's say, in MMA. She's 6-0, 5 via submissions. Still only 20 years old. The big question for Angela Lee is, does she want to give up what I hear are very good paydays over in Asia and huge superstar status there to move over to the UFC? Are they going to open up the checkbook for her and pay her more than one championship is paying her? Number 3, Olivia Renata Souza, 9-1, only lost to Angela Hill. She's an ex-Invicta champion. Very impressive ground game. 7 wins via submission. The last fight she actually won via TKO. And, at 25 years old, this Brazilian has a lot of upside. She's fighting in Invicta and winning in Invicta. That is certainly the best place to be. I don't know how long it's going to be before the UFC call her up, but she's fought 3 times in America now. So I think she's ready for that step up to the UFC. Number 4, Ino Mizuki, only 22 years old, already has 12-4 in her MMA record. She won her last 4 after losing to Alexa Grasso and Karolina Kowalkiewicz. 7 of her wins are via armbar. She would have had 8, except one was overturned to a DQ or no contest because she missed weight. She does have wins over Alex Chambers and Beck Rawlings, who are both UFC fighters. and she's also 11-2 as a kickboxer. So not only dangerous on the ground, but dangerous standing up too. She's a very big prospect, I feel. Again, it's a question: does she go to one championship to rise in? You know, I would like to see the UFC open the checkbooks to this kind of fighter, but we'll see where she ends up. Number 5, Zhang Weili, a Chinese fighter on a 10-fight win streak. She lost her opening or her debut in MMA. She has 6 TKO victories, 4 submission victories, all inside the first 2 rounds. She has a very good range of strikes, incorporating kicks and punches into her attack. You know, again, very dangerous striker. Another one that could end up in Ryzen or One FC, One Championship rather. But, you know, I think there's a place for her in the UFC too. Number 6 on the list, Polian Viana Mota, 24-year-old coming out of Brazil, 8-1, all her wins inside the distance. You know, and it's very evenly split, 4 TKOs and 4 submissions. Again, another well-rounded fighter. Maybe she could benefit from a few fights in Invicta or a few fights inside the United States, but, you know, I predict big things for her. Number 7 on the list, Silvia Puca Gonzalez, fighting out of Paraguay for Team Joker. She's 3-1, very raw at the moment, but has the attributes, let's say the foundation to really build on. You know, I think she needs good coaching and maybe a switch to a very well-known MMA gym in the United States would benefit her. All her wins have come by a TKO, you know, so the question is, can she evolve beyond that? You know, is she just going to be a power puncher, or can she build on what she's already got? Number 8, very young competitor here, Miranda Maverick. She's very raw, a lot of upside and a lot of potential. She's got a tough fight coming up in Invicta. And I think before the UFC comes calling for her, a good run in Invicta will be hugely beneficial for her. Officially, she's 1-0, but she's got many amateur fights under her belt. And I think, you know, she's a very competent, calm fighter that belies her age and record. So Miranda the Maverick. Maverick is one to watch out for in the future. Probably not 2017, maybe 2018 at the earliest. Number 9, Montserrat Ruiz. This is Mexican, is 6-0, very durable, good ground game. You know, she's got 3 wins by TKO, only 1 by submission and 2 by decision. There is a lot of room for improvement here. You know, raw is maybe not the correct word. I think at the moment she's got more passion than technique. But again, if she can get the coaching, she has a good base to build on. And the last one, rounding out my top 10 for the women's 115-pound division, is Nadia Kassim. She's 3-0, all have come via TKO. She's fighting out of Australia, and she's very aggressive, a hard hitter. It's difficult to know what her upper limits are until she starts fighting better opposition. So that's my top 10. Tell me what I got wrong. Tell me what you think I got right. You know, and check out the other videos too.